What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're going to talk a little bit about this apparel thing with the price at, I think it was $35. I don't know if you guys know, I don't usually buy any of these apparel. After the Division 1, I haven't bought anything of that nature from the Division game. However, in my own way to support the game, I've bought different copies on different platforms. I have a PlayStation version, disc. I think I also have digital. I have Xbox disc and digital. I have multiple PC versions on different accounts. Even bought my children copies of the Division. I mean, just because that's how I think I will support the game, because it gives me a product that I think is much more. I mean, it's all digital, but it's, it does have a specific entertainment value to it much more than an apparel and how I look. Now, one thing that I've seen is a lot of people's frame of mind regarding this is very interesting. Everyone's got their opinions on it, and I don't want to minimize what somebody else might think just because I think one way. I already look at the apparel and I'm like, well, it's a cosmetic item. If you want to sell it for $2, $3, $4, there's nothing wrong with that, especially with the effort it takes to design, something like this. Colors, maybe your materials, tweaking them here and there. The effort, and those of you who are developers, you can check me on this, but the effort to design apparel is not that much. Anyone can actually do it. So this is not like some high-end thing where you're designing a mechanic like a raid where we could say, okay, we want to support you. I do game development stuff as a hobbyist. Many of you know that in this channel. So this is not something where I'm speaking out of ignorance. I'm speaking out of experience and a lot of what it is that I play with in a sense. So these, textures and these designs and stuff, they're just there for the company to be able to make money further down the road, which I have no problem with. I'm just saying for them to be able to price these things, they have to do it in a way where it's sensible, in my opinion. So that is my opinion, right? Your opinion might be different. And I have seen some people who've shared, some really decent takes in this whole regard where they've said, the game has been providing us a lot of value and a lot of content for free, in quotes, and I put air quotes on that because you paid for Warlords of New York to get all this stuff free. It comes in with Warlords of New York, and Warlords of New York sold them a lot of copies, made a lot of money. They sold the game for $3. A lot of people came into the ecosystem and have spent money. That recovery has already been done. I mean, that's why you're getting a Division 3 game, right? Which leads me to the Division 3 game. If we normalize the $35, $20 cosmetics in the Division community, we're going to see a lot of them in Division 3. This is just to test the waters and push the boundary. They've collected the data already as to how many people bought it. They've listened to and watched YouTube videos as to how many people complained about it being an unfair practice and how many people did not, right? And so eventually you're going to continue to see this, rear its head again. Do you want this down the line? Because now they're doing it on the back end where you feel like it's been earned and you've accepted it. However, what if the Division 3 shows up? It comes out in a state that is unsatisfactory, because I know before we got here, it's not like everything was all satisfactory with the Division 2. I love the Division 2 developers. They are my favorite developers in all of development. It used to be Rocksteady, but then they started making they gave me a copyright strike for talking about something about their Suicide Squad game, and I wasn't even bashing on the game. So they moved down to number 2, and Massive still remains, my favorite studio, hands down. No qualms. However, the Division 1 came out in a state that a lot of folk in the community were not satisfied with. A lot of the gear game, a lot of things like skills and so on and so forth, we just didn't know what those things were supposed to do in the context of the game at first. The gear game was weird, but we still stuck with it. We supported it. We've given, what it is and that I think is our measured support to the game. So the $30 outfit has no place in the game currently. Why? Because this is going to basically be that kind of thing where they say, there's a saying where I'm from. I don't know if anybody is Nigerian. I'm going to say it in Nigerian vernacular, and I'm going to translate it to English. They say now from clap, then they enter dance. What that means is, at first, you start clapping when the music is playing. Then before you know, you start dancing along. So now people are saying, it's all right, it's not a big deal. That's the clapping. That's the sounds of the clap. Before you know what's going on, the full dancing is going to be in place, and then nobody is going to want to say anything, either sensible, or no one's going to want to have any pushback, regarding this particular issue, when in reality, this is the time that we actually need to figure out if we want this or not. Me, I'm fine. I'm not buying it. And there's not going to be the time, there's not going to be the context within which I pay them $35. for an outfit, or even anything more than $4.99 we ain't doing that. That's not gonna happen. Okay, $4.99 is the most I've spent on a cosmetic in the Division universe from the Division 1. And then Mortal Kombat 11, I bought one Raiden skin that I just got sick and tired of grinding for, because I knew it was going to be, I mean, it looked good at what, it looked just as good as what I was grinding for, but I wanted it. However, I'm not going to do that. Like I'm not even doing that anymore, And then I paid for RoboCop as a character because I didn't want to, buy the full DLC pack. I could have even waited. But I was playing my version of the game on PC because I buy I double dip. That's how I support games that I like. So that's my side of it being reasonable, in a sense. So for those of you who are, in this particular, conversation, or whom, I don't know, who see it in a different way, I would love for you to share your thoughts in the comment section. And I'm not saying one way is, superior to the other in this regard, because most Division players, many of y'all are not little kids anymore. You have expendable income. I see your demographics. Y'all are the ballers, man. We're not talking about, little kids, playing Fortnite and talking about V-Bucks. This is just, grown adults talking about their preference in regard to how this is done. And I'm certain that even though the expendable income might be there, the context may change, and then they may be asking for this amount of money, for cosmetics. Let us consider this and let us actually factor this into the conversation so that we can kind of have like a balanced view of this, because I don't want to dog on anybody. I want developers to get paid. I would love for Massive to continue to run a full-blown studio that's making, Division content and all that stuff. And we have a game that we can play, hang out with our friends, and the servers stay open. The Division 1 servers have been open all this while. Yes, the game was profitable, but, those profits have been reinvested. And at any point in time, they could say they want to close the servers, but the servers are still open. We knew it was a live service game, and you won't find a game of this quality running anywhere, except it's a live service game. That's the reason it's a live service game. It's not necessarily that, they wanted to basically one day close it all. It's just because our PS4s could not run the Division at all in the way that it's built. If they were going to do it that way, they had to basically leverage, multi, hardware structures in terms of building the game half and half. Like, you can run some parts of the game on your console, you can run some other parts online, and then also basically DRM and the fact that they can keep a lot of the IP, unless somebody is really interested in modding a single player version of the game or whatever it is. But we're not there yet, and hopefully we don't have to get there, but you never know. All right, that's all I got to say. Thanks so much for watching the video. I appreciate you guys' time and audience, and let me hear your thoughts in the comment section, and have a happy New Year's. Thanks so much again. Peace out.